my dear students. Today I am here with another lesson from your textbook Flamingo. The name of the lesson is A Thing of Beauty by John Keats. How are you all? How are you spending your time in these days? Actually, I know even in our wildest dreams, we haven't imagined a life like this. We haven't imagined that we would lead a life like this. We have never thought that we would live in quarantine, lockdown, such things. But the poet John Keats was quarantined before his death. It was in Rome. It was in the 19th century. It was in 1800s. Our planet has witnessed quarantine, epidemic, diseases, isolation from time to time. Let's go back to 1600s. Uh, it was the time when the bubonic plague broke out on the planet. The year was 1665 to 1666. Sir Isaac Newton was at Cambridge University at that time. Like our colleges and schools, Cambridge University also was closed and sent its students home. Isaac Newton was stuck on his family estate in a rural area. He was quarantined. Then means it was the time when the bubonic plague broke out on the planet. He spent endless hours in a nearby forest. He spent endless hours in nature. He was watching nature. He was watching beautiful things in nature. He was observing light. That year, 1666, historians call that year Annus Mirabilis. Annus Mirabilis means miracle year, wonderful year, because many inventions and discoveries, motion, calculus, optics, gravitation. It was the year Newton was alleged to observe an apple falling from the tree. So Newton spent that time beautifully. He spent his time in nature, and he invented many things also, many useful things for the world. Let's come back to our poet John Keats. Let's come back to 1800s. John Keats was suffering from tuberculosis. His doctors advised him to spend time in a warmer place. So he went to Rome. At that time, typhus broke out in London. So their ship was stopped at the harbor, and the people in the ship were quarantined. At that time, John Keats already knew that he was going to die. But he spent that time in the ship. He spent his time by reading classics, by writing letters, reading Byron, moving letters, such things. He also used that time. And he was born in 1795 and died in 1821. Can you say how old was he when he died? Calculate 1795 to 1821. And John Keats, one cannot define John Keats' works without knowing his biography. So I think we should talk about it first. John Keats was the last of Romantic poets. He was a second generation Romantic poets. Romantic poets were nature lovers. We can see the beauty of nature and the benefits of watching beautiful things in nature in Romantic poets' works. Keats was also a nature lover. And he was the eldest of 5 kids, and 4 boys and 1 girl. The beginning of his life was fairly comfortable, but he joined school when he was 8. But when he was 9 years old, his father fell down from a horse and he died because of that fracture. His mother remarried, but it didn't last long. Then she disappeared, leaving the children with their grandparents. At that time, kids suffered from anxiety disorders. His mother reappeared after 3.5 years, suffering from tuberculosis. Keats nursed his mother very well, but she died of tuberculosis. Keats lost a number of persons from his family. He lost his brother because of tuberculosis. He cared, he nursed his brother also, but he died of tuberculosis. And Keats was also suffering from tuberculosis. And after his mother's death, his grandmother appointed two guardians to take care of the children, but the guardians were self-interested. They had less interest in these children. So the children suffered very much, poverty, many things. And Keats' guardian wanted Keats to become a surgeon. So Keats was apprenticed in a hospital to become a surgeon. He practiced 5 years. He got the license, but he abandoned his medical field to become a poet. From a very early age, he decided to become a poet. In his own words, to Keats, the greatest people live. The greatest people who have ever lived were poets. So he wanted to become a great poet. He started his writing at 20, but he couldn't write many works because of his bad health. Then this tuberculosis, I would like to say one more thing. Do one thing. Google the Great Smoke in London. In 1800s, it was a time. Historians say that there was a time in London. The lights must be lit to see the things in the middle of the day. Smoke hovers over the city. Most of the homes are heated. They do all their cooking. They firing their stoves, burning black coal. So that black smoke hangs over the city. Everyone breathes this air. It affects, obviously, it affects the lung infection. So the only way to escape from the disease is to extricate yourself from that environment. It's just a matter of time. It was in 1800s. So there is only one way to escape, that is to extricate yourself from that environment. That's why I said Keats' doctors advised him to live in a warmer place. So he went to Rome. Their better choice is Italy, because one of the best weather conditions on the planet now also. Then, so one afternoon Keats coughed blood. So he realized that it was over. When I told you that smoke hangs over the city, we are in 1800s now. Smoke hangs over the city. Whenever the people cough, when they put on a hanky or their hand on their upon their mouth, blood will hit the hanky. That was the condition. So one afternoon Keats coughed blood. So at that time he realized that it was over for him. And in his own words, he was leading posthumous life, a dead man walking and doing things. But he had recognized what he wanted to accomplish. At the same time, he knew that he was not going to accomplish it. Because of the bad health, he knew that he was going to die. Then also, he was capable of appreciating nature. He was capable of appreciating the beautiful things in nature. He read many books. He wanted to read many books. He wanted to write many poems or literary works. But he knew that he couldn't do things. He was very sad. He wanted to become a great poet. He wanted fame as a poet. And our poem, A Thing of Beauty, is an extract from his first major work, Endymion. When Endymion was published, it was bitterly criticized by most of its reviewers. It was badly criticized. Keats wanted fame as a poet, but his work was badly criticized. So he was very sad. He thoroughly convinced by the fact that he hadn't lived enough to produce anything to be recognized as a poet. He believed that. That's why he died, before his before he died, he had put these words on his tombstone. Now also we can see these words. Here lived a man whose life was, whose name was written on water. If we write something on water with a stick, it disappears soon. So Keats thoroughly believed that he he didn't write anything to be recognized as a great poet. But now this Endymion is considered as one of the masterpieces of the early 19th century romantic movement. When we have a terminal illness, we are like a half light between being alive and dead. That was his condition. But the final irony is, if we go now, today, if we go anywhere on this planet and list the top 5 poets of the world, the list always ends up in Keats' name. Top 5 poets. He is always in the top 5 great poets of the world. Okay, let's go to our poem Endymion